Drazkowski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioner, for your work here and for your discussion today about this this tax increase proposal that the governor is bringing. I'm going to offer some criticisms and then one compliment at the end, Commissioner. I got to be fair and balanced, you know. The governor started this discussion with this proposal talking about this being a tax cut. It's not a tax cut. It's the sales tax portion increases taxes by $400 million per biennium, if I remember, on average, and a net tax increase of about $200 million per biennium on average, if I remember correctly. I don't have the numbers in front of me. And then it increases property taxes on Minnesotans. And you just mentioned your number is 4.1% increase in property taxes in the proposal. It's a bit perplexing, I think, to people to look at what happened in the last 2 years and the expenditure of $19 billion. This huge, never could have been forecasted by anyone 3-4 years before that amount that is unprecedented in our history. We've never had anything anywhere close to this. Huge expansions of government that happened under the trifecta in the last biennium. And I mean, we increased housing welfare from $100 million to $1 billion, 1,000% increase in housing welfare to have Minnesotans who are struggling to pay their housing bills be taxed in order to pay for somebody else's house. We, in this area, budget area of taxes, we had huge increases in welfare for people who file taxes, who have never paid any taxes in, yet they file taxes and get a refundable credit, including illegal aliens. The Walz administration doesn't attempt to back off of any of those very radical proposals that were passed into law. And I could go down the list. There's many of them, and I'll bring more of them up as session proceeds. But I would encourage Democrats, and I would encourage the governor to take a look at the overreach that this administration and this legislature, hand in hand, enacted in the last biennium. Huge overreaches in dozens of areas. We paid out millions and millions of dollars to nonprofit organizations that are escalating the already very, very, very rampant fraud that happens in this state. Some responsible things could happen here, and we could solve that $6.1 billion projected deficit. And I agree with you that we should start on that now. And so I agree with the governor on that. His approach, of course, I think is very flawed, but we should start on that now, and it would be very easy for Democrats to say, you know what, we went too far on some of these areas and we need to back off. That being said, and I'll castigate more later, Commissioner, on some of that, but some of the numbers I've heard, as Senator Weber pointed out, around the shift to counties are bigger than the numbers that you articulated here today. Could you show your work for us and show us in writing what the amount, you know, this $346 million in 28-29, the $180 million in 26-27. Can you show us your work and what that includes and have the columns and rows add up? That I think would be helpful to us, as I think it's important for Minnesota to have the dialogue about really what this does represent for Minnesota. And you've got your picture as a department, and the governor does, as to what that looks like and what you're including in your math. Other people have a different idea of what they're including in the math and the proposal. And I think it's important for us to know what those numbers you articulated represent. A question for you So that's a question, would you show us your work? And then another question that I was just introduced to today is there's apparently in the proposal 13 new auditors in the department to go after small businesses and try to squeeze more money out of our already struggling small businesses in this state. Can you tell us why we need to have more Department of Revenue police descending down upon all of the small businesses in Minnesota who are already struggling to make a go of it in this oppressive big government environment we have in this state?
Commissioner Marquart.
Madam Chair and Senator Drazkowski, so what we're doing with the increase on the number of auditors is trying to match a more complex kind of business organization. And it has to do primarily with partnerships, in that partnerships have control over other groups of partnerships, over another group of partnerships. And it's very difficult, what I'm hearing from our auditors, and that is to try to figure out where is the income, so forth. And so that's an area that we've identified that we're just not able to really track very well. And so there is a cost originally, and then ultimately, once that kind of gets phased in, as you know, in the past when we've done some things like this with the Department of Revenue, it's like a 4-to-1 dollars brought in than what is going to be the cost. But one of our goals is that taxpayers will pay no more or no less than required by law, and we feel that these auditors are necessary to meet that goal because of the complexity.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Drazkowski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioner. And can you show us your work, Commissioner? And also, how many auditors do we have now? And I'll leave those questions with you, because the chair wants to keep moving, I'm sure. And the one compliment I have in the budget is, and thank you for that, is getting rid of the political welfare program we have in this state. I have attempted when I was in the other body, Madam Chair, and I know some members here like that program, but we are somewhat unique in Minnesota in that we pay for political campaigns, and we have the struggling people of Minnesota being forced to pay taxes to pay for political campaigns, and you get rid of it in the budget, and that's the one item I saw that was good in the budget, and so thank you for that. But those two questions for you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Marquart.
Madam Chair and Senator Drazkowski, so number one, I'll have to get back on the number of auditors that we have. I don't have that right with me. And I also will get back to you on showing the work. I did get those numbers from Minnesota Management and Budget, but I didn't have a breakdown, and we'll see if we can get that back to you also.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.